Lighting is one of the key aspects of cinema, cinematography, and just making somewhat decent looking YouTube videos. And with so many brands, so many options, and so many budgets out there, making a choice becomes, well, complicated. Just like Barry Schwartz says in his book, learning to choose is hard, learning to choose well is harder, and learning to choose well in a world of unlimited possibilities is harder still, perhaps too hard. SmallRig is well known for its rigging equipment, so it was a surprise for me to hear that they are making LED lights and other types of products as well. I have used their plates and cages in the past when I was a freelance filmmaker, and I still use their grip equipment to this day. But today we are focusing on their budget LED lights like this one, the RC120B, a bicolor COB LED light, and their softbox diffusion as well. Hi friends, welcome back. If you are new here, my name is Jorge. On this channel we talk about photography but also filmmaking as well, merging creativity and productivity to live a fulfilling life. And in today's video we are talking about the SmallRig RC120B and the parabolic softbox as well, and how this is probably all you need to start a YouTube channel. I would like to thank SmallRig for sending me this light, however, they are not sponsoring this video, they are not paying me for a review. And just like my camera reviews, I will mention what I think is right, even if it means criticizing it. I come from working in the film industry and having access to professional film equipment, like RA-20K lights with cranes and all the grip equipment you could ever want. But do you really need all of that just to start your creative journey or a YouTube channel? No, of course not. In fact, you can get started with just a window and natural daylight. However, if you want a reliable, affordable, and compact solution that actually fits in a small room like this one, and removes the friction of using the equipment, which is very, very important, then this video is for you. Let's get started. The light comes protected in a carrying bag, definitely a plus for people that are traveling or moving around to different sets constantly. Inside the bag, in the top lid, you'll find a paper documentation or manual, some stickers, and a shoulder strap for the bag. Moving along, we have the light itself, very compact and lightweight. Then we have the 55-degree hyper reflector, Bowen's mount, and last but not least, the power cable and the power brick. The RC120B is 120 watts bicolor light and costs $260 US. However, you can save some cash and get the RC120D, meaning a daylight version only, for $220. Let's talk about the light itself. It's fairly compact. Using an old kitchen scale, we can see that the light alone weighs about 1.6 kilograms or 3.5 pounds. It has a built-in umbrella holder, good for those of you that don't have space for a softbox, and the main mount has a 270-degree adjustment curve. Overall, that is a positive, less weight to carry with you. However, to achieve that, most of the light is made out of plastic, and that does make it feel a little bit cheap. Specifically, the handle and the base mount. If we compare them to larger, heavier lights with a more solid mount, then future durability may be a valid concern. Using the light is very straightforward. You plug it in and you turn it on. The left knob allows you to control the light intensity, and by pressing down you can cycle between the color temperatures. The right knob allows you to cycle between the light effects and the frequency of the effects. You can also control the light with your smartphone via the SmallGoGo app. The manual has a QR code that gives you a download link, and this physical button right here allows you to reset the settings and the Bluetooth connection with the app. This is a 120 watt bicolor COB light. The color temperature ranges from 2700 Kelvin to 6500 Kelvin. The color rendering index, or the CRI, listed on their website is TLCI of 96+ and CRI of 95+. I don't have a proper light meter or color meter to test the maximum luminance and the CRI, which includes the TLCI and TLMF. So please take every company's CRI values with a grain of salt, unless you have a proper color meter and you can actually test it yourself. The maximum luminance goes up to 52,800 lux at 1 meter, which is too much. We are not using these lights to light up an entire barn or office spaces, And this is where we need to talk about your setup and what do you actually need, what do you actually want. Because to get results like this, the light on its own is not enough. You actually need to diffuse the light, you need a light modifier. We have seen DIY examples all over the internet, like Film Riot's shower curtain video, or Caleb Pike's lighting videos in general, using a bounce board or a 5-in-1 reflector, or bouncing the light from walls or the ceiling. But the point is that if you want soft diffuse light like this, then you do need a light modifier. Now, you could go the DIY route and make your own, assemble your own if you want to, or if you just want to remove the hassle and the friction of doing that, then you can get something like this, and we're gonna talk about it next. The softbox also comes with a matching carrying case as well, which makes it an ideal kit if you're moving around often. The case opens from the top, which is so much more user-friendly than some of the other cheap options out there. Remember that we are using this to remove friction and make it very simple. That is key. Inside the case, we see the actual softbox itself, the honeycomb grid. Next, we do have some paperwork or setup instructions, the inner diffusion layer and the outer diffusion layer as well. The dome has a Bowens mount, so you can use this softbox with other lights as well, and it has a quick release system that allows you to easily disassemble the softbox if needed. For context, this is what a cheap, generic softbox looks like, and setting it up and tearing it down is a complete nightmare. So, as I mentioned before, the light on its own is just one part of the equation. Modifying it and diffusing it is another part of the equation. I do think you need to think of these things as a kit, unless you already have a diffusion source and you don't need a softbox. It's important to talk about the app because this light does not come with a physical remote. So if the app crashes or resets or sucks, then it will significantly impact your experience. Overall, the app is very simple to use. Once you pair it via Bluetooth, you can update the firmware of the light, and that gives SmallRig a chance to patch small bugs or hiccups in the future. You can easily change the brightness and the color temperature as well, which is to be expected, but you can also cycle through the effects and save your own presets, which is fine. The app is fine, there's nothing inherently wrong with it. It's just brings all the issues that low-budget devices have, like the Bluetooth pairing can be a pain, the app can crash for no reason, it has happened to me, and things like that. I much prefer having a physical remote that you know will work every single time you need it, but that's just me. But hey, that's just one of the ways they can actually bring the cost of the unit down, so I understand why they're doing it. I don't want to spend too much time talking about the app because it's not really fun to use, and in my case, it actually adds friction to the process, so I'd just rather use the dials on the back. Number 1. The light feels a little cheap, mainly because it's made out of plastic. It's not an issue now, but it does make you about the long-term durability of the mount and the top handle. Number 2. It's great that both the light and the softbox come with their own dedicated carrying cases. But the same thing applies here. Not the best quality or materials. Makes you wonder how long will the zippers last and the protection and resistance to the elements when you're out there shooting. Number 3, it's the app. The app can crash for no reason, it has happened to me. I don't have anything overly negative to say about it, I just prefer a physical remote. It makes more sense for me and my type of shooting. In my opinion, LED lights like this excel at setups like this one right here. Just simple talking heads, and that's kind of it. You can set it and forget it, and you don't really have to worry about too much. You can get it as a second light for your background or even as a hair light as well. Very simple to use, and you're not expecting a whole lot out of the light. This is an affordable and decent quality light that eliminates friction to get going or to get started, which is the most important thing in my opinion. I have been thinking a lot about what types of reviews I want to make, what types of products I want to recommend or suggest to people out there. And after thinking a lot about it, I think that there is a baseline. They have to be good enough. But just that, good enough. Getting you started on your creative journey or your YouTube channel or whatever it is that you want to do is a lot more important than spending all the time, energy, and money into buying the perfect piece of equipment that will magically solve your life. It will not. and the SmallRig RC120B and the RA-D55 Softbox are all you need for YouTube videos. So that is what I think about this kit right here, the LED light and the diffusion combo as well. It's good enough and it's great for me to recommend for people just getting started, starting their YouTube channel or their creative journey. I think having options is not always bad, it can be a good thing, and I'm glad that these things exist. As always, I'm curious to know what you think. What does your lighting setup look like? Is this something that you would be interested in getting? Share your thoughts in a comment down below. But that is it for today's video. If you found this video helpful or valuable, then please like and subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and join my free newsletter as well. Thank you very much for watching, for giving me your time and your energy, and good luck with your creative process.